What's good, man?
Bro, how you doing today?
Hey, doing good, bro. Can't complain at all, man. But yeah, we can get it kicked off. But yeah, first and foremost, man, thank you for joining the JQ Lifestyle. You know, me and you have been working for 2 years now, as far as like your business, your tax business, and I admire your business over the past like few years because I never really understand the importance of taxes,
Hmm.
and that's part of the conversation. So
Yeah,
we're gonna kick like
I
what we're
appreciate
gonna
that.
yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kick it off, and we're gonna talk about like your tax account business, some of the work that you're doing, what start the journey from when you went to Clark Atlanta, and like if you want to talk about for better living and the good papers, some of the other things that you have in work and all of the work that you're doing in the community.
Definitely. Let's do it.
All right, cool. Let's kick it off.
All right, so what's going on, y'all? My name is Justin. Everybody call me J Carp. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. Currently an accountant based in Atlanta, Georgia. I own Carpenter Tax Accounting and Business Solutions. We're a boutique firm. We provide tax preparation, business tax preparation for individuals and business self-employed. We also work in the entertainment industry as well from a business management standpoint. Not only working under that umbrella, pretty much my company provides bookkeeping as well. So we provide bookkeeping to small and medium businesses to make sure that they are able to track their expenses, track their revenue, and just more so being aligned with compliance with the IRS. Yeah, so that's pretty much what we do. At a high level, I'm glad to go into I'll be glad to go into the details. Been around for about 5 years, going on 6 years now. I went to Clark Atlanta, so I graduated. Once I graduated, I actually immediately started my business. Um, right after graduation, got the LLC, started getting everything together to launch. Right. At that same time, I had a job interview with Cisco Systems. I came in as I believe, a business analyst. So I was in Raleigh for some time. All right. So from there, I moved to Raleigh, started my business in Atlanta. Before I left, I actually took an internship with Turner Broadcast. I already had the job offer, but I needed some extra money to jump start my business. You know, came from a broke college student, right? Waiting a couple months after graduation to start my job, I was able to not finesse, but get an internship right before my start date of my career. So moved out of Raleigh, North Carolina. It was different for me. So that's when I pretty much socially didn't know nobody. I know a lot of people in Atlanta, but I didn't really know anybody in Raleigh outside of my work friends, right? But at that point, I was pretty much to myself, so I had nothing to do but lock down and focus, right? So at that point, I immediately started my business. Got the LLC in October, started on taxes in July. Throughout that time, though, it was a lot of like discipline that needed to be exuded. Sacrifice, man. You know how we all graduate. We want to get the nice car, nice crib. We want to be out in the mix every weekend. And, for us, for a lot of us, for majority of us, real life, it really hits when you graduate, right? So I kind of fell back from all that, a lot of extra things that would have took a lot of my cash flow. And it was able to just invest that back into my business, whether it was paying X amount of dollars to get a website done. Well, I know I need flyers. It's going to pay a graphic designer. It's going to take a graphic designer $400 to create it, couple $100 to print it. All right, well, I put some things off, some wants off at the time to really double down and get things done and invest in myself to able to get those things. So, took that time. It was rough. It was rough. It was rough starting out. I'm not even going front. A lot of people like to paint the perfect picture, like entrepreneurship is easy, man. It was a lot of sacrifice. Didn't have the newest car. Wasn't in the club every weekend, didn't have the latest drip. Of course, you still treat yourself from time to time, but it wasn't one of those things like, oh, I just came into some money, so I'm going crazy. I came into some bread, meaning my career, and I just took that and invested in myself. It took a lot of balance because, you got to realize at the time, I had rent, I had a car note that I had to get, just other bills of being an adult that you don't really know the intricacy, small stuff that you don't really know until you got to college. So it was a lot of, I ain't gonna lie, I'll be honest with you, it was a lot of penny pinching at that time to really get things off the ground. I'm gonna be honest, a lot of people don't want, and I didn't get no handout, like, and nothing against people who had a boost to start their business. Like, I couldn't ask my mom for like $10,000, or I wasn't, and I didn't want to take a loan for X amount of dollars to start my business because That's where a lot of people mess up at. They get these loans for their business, now they buy them up before they even start. I'd rather sacrifice, bootstrap it until it get to that point. So when I started, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, for sure, like you touched on a lot of great points there, bro. Like, and just knowing your journey, like I met you like 2 years ago, and you've been helping me like understand the importance of taxes and all these different things. And I think, especially in understanding your background and understanding, coming from Baltimore in an environment where you have to get it out the mud, pretty much, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Our people don't really understand taxes, to be honest, right?
Right.
Just for you as a Black male to get into this business and have your own business is like super important. And I believe, like, from your business, you do have, you're allowing other accountants to grow as well within your business, correct? Like
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So I'll explain that. So I brought on a few accountants as under my company as tax associates. I trained them for about 6 to 8 weeks, pretty much on business processes, software, how to interact with clients, how to go and get clientele, retain clients, pretty much set them up for success and allow them to actually practice and prepare taxes under my brand. It was like a virtual opportunity, pretty much a virtual opportunity, especially during COVID. It wasn't too much going on in office, but it was a virtual opportunity where had one person based in, and they were all Black women. So they one was based in Chicago, one was based back up in the DMV, where I'm from, and the rest were based in Atlanta. I think the other 5 were based in Atlanta. So it's pretty much giving them an opportunity to really get their feet wet, really go out there, get clients, gain clientele, make some extra income, and see if this for them. A lot of the times people want to start businesses, and speaking more specifically to my business, a lot of people want to jump in that lane, but they don't know where to start, or they're nervous, or they don't necessarily know how to go get clientele. So what I pretty much do with them is work with them, pretty much train them and allow them, build them up with that confidence so they can go be successful in building out their own business so they can eventually step away.
Yeah, nice. That's solid. So you went to Clark Atlanta, you got your job with Cisco in Raleigh, and you started.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you, like, what would you like? What advice would you give people who are fresh out of college and trying to understand how to capitalize from a financial perspective, how to make sure that you set up for success from a tax perspective? Because just because you can have a 6-figure salary, right?
Right.
You don't understand money and the tax that goes behind it. Like, it's super important to get that intelligence. So, like, how could you like touch on that? Because the importance of like understanding taxes and really like hiring somebody like you, like a CPA and like your tax business, to make your life easier, to be able to understand how much money that you're going to get back from taxes, or if you want to have tax deduction, do you even want money back? And so how that process works for a lot of people, like, I think
So typically the average person that works a W-2 job career, you make an X amount of dollars throughout the year. In order to be successful in that space, you pretty much have to make sure that you're paying enough taxes throughout the year. And that goes into a few things, withholding and allowances. A lot of the times I run into clients who make a certain amount of money, but they don't have any taxes taken out throughout the year, but they wonder why they owe. That's because their allowances are above the limit of someone filing single with no dependents, right? So that's pretty much sending a message from your employer throughout the year. Okay, well, this person has kids, this person has dependents, they're not getting any taxes withheld. So come tax time, when they file, they claim those dependents, get certain credits, and which ultimately produce a refund, for claiming dependents. But a lot of times with a lot of people in our culture don't know, and it's honestly no fault to them because you're not really taught about taxes in school, that you want to make sure that they get enough, just enough taken out. A lot of people get caught up on refunds, right? All that pretty much is an overpayment to the government of money you made all year. So it's really important to, when you first start your job, get with the employer and fill out your federal withholding certificate. Your federal withholding certificate will allow you to select your allowances and allow your employer to take the proper amount of taxes out throughout the year.
Got it. That's nice. So, like, what all, just to help a lot of people, what all services do you offer for your business? I know you, for me, because I'm a client of yours, and I know I do from like the tax and CPA perspective. What are other like services that you offer that can also help people that are watching or listening to this?
Definitely, of course, taxes. We offer consultations as well. I personally speak with individuals who reach out to the business, just get a better understanding about their tax situation and put them in the right direction. Not necessarily telling them what to do, but advising them based on their situation, what direction they should take. Bookkeeping as well. We provide bookkeeping as far as revenue and expense tracking, run payroll, employee verification. Also, the last service we do is business management and business development. Management is more of a niche service that we provide, where we specially tailor that to independent professionals. Right now, we work with artists and producers in the music industry, where we help them achieve financial success as far as being in compliance with the IRS, tracking how much they're spending, making sure that they get their payroll out to management. So that's pretty much all that we provide.
Nice. Like, I know, like, from an entrepreneur perspective, like, you have like other ventures. Like, I know you into like real estate as well. You just started like another venture, Good Papers. Like, it seems like your drive, right, to like continue to have these different ventures. Like, when you think about that and like having that survival mode of also understanding, like, where our background, where our parents, you have to pave the way, right?
Straight up.
So what's that journey like, as far as, you start your first business, now you have another business moving into the real estate space. How is that? And especially in the Baltimore area, where I'm sure they're doing a lot of, there's a lot of gentrification going on. And so, like, what are your thoughts around that back in your own city?
Definitely. I think it's a gold mine right now. What you'll find is, once you start one business, other business opportunities come to you, whether it's a solo venture or a joint venture based off, just it falls in your lap, As far as the real estate in Baltimore, I grew up in West Baltimore, the inner city. So I would say it's a lot of opportunity there, being from there. But, from the outside looking in, it's more of a red flag to a lot of folks. So I invested in Baltimore City, in my neighborhood, in public housing, which will allow you to get payments from the state as far as rent. That was a good journey. That was a good journey to segue into my first project. It was stressful, but it was worth it. I think personally, the real estate in Baltimore, you definitely want to look into it. Shout out Ashland Auction, ashlandauction.com. I actually got my first deal. I got my land. My first property there, it was a project. It was like a project, a fix-up property. Landed it at the auction about $12,000. So that's pretty much how the market is in Baltimore right now. I mean, of course, houses are higher, but typically one of those things, throw a bid out there. Once the bid is approved, then you gather the funds to purchase the property and rehab it and so forth. But that was pretty cool. I'm actually looking to start another project at the top of the year. It's just one of those things. I kind of felt bad because business picked up, but you got to handle one thing before you can handle the other. So, but it's fun, man. And from what I've heard from my mentors and seen, millionaires are built overnight in real estate. So, it's one of those things. Well, that's what I'm working towards. I ain't there yet,
For sure.
But as far as Good Papers was actually an idea brought to me by my childhood best friend's older brother. He's like my older brother as well. But his name Chapman. We call him Chat. He has a cleaning company. We always talking about business, how to make, how we chat with others, try to make some money, trying to figure out what's next. You feel me? He brought me an idea, like, yo, bro, I got a cleaning company, but a lot of these, all I see is when I go to these properties, commercial properties and residential properties, it seems to always be a need. It's either a need for toilet. It always seems to be a need for toilet paper. They always, so we, he's like, man, well, what can we do? What can we do? And like, all right, bet. Well, let's start a toilet paper company. So we did our due diligence, our research. Is one of those things where it's always a need for it, just like taxes. Everybody uses the bathroom. Everybody works and got to file taxes. So we realized that. Exactly. So we realized the need, and we started saying, oh yeah, it's a market for it. Think about doing COVID-19 early in the year. I know in Atlanta, there was no toilet paper, no paper towels, not even, I was using party napkins as paper towels for my crib for like 2 months, so it was just crazy. But yeah, we've seen the need, did our research, and we're currently in the process of getting all the logistics together to get it a smooth launch. We're gonna offer toilet paper. We're going to be also rolling out other different products, and even offering a subscription service where you pay X amount of dollars a month and you get a bunch of toilet paper delivered to your door.
Nice, nice. That was solid, bro. When I saw this launch that, I was like, yo, this is brilliant. Like nobody when you think about it, because it's like, yo, we always need that, especially in a climate
Yes.
where like we're supporting Black businesses more than ever right now. Like,
Yes.
it's like it's a huge market for that. And I was, it just when I first saw that, that's why I hit you. I was like, yo, send me some too. Like, like so
Yeah, for sure. You definitely got someone away from us, bro.
For sure, for sure. And like, man, lastly, I do just want to like, add some, what advice would you give like people, like especially young professionals, fresh out of college, because that 20 to 30 year gap is like super important. 20 to 20,
Very important.
because that's what's really going to set you up. So like from a financial, like a tax perspective, with all of the things that you've gained, like fresh out of college, being able to set your business, like what advice would you give someone? Because I think like just having a CPA, someone like you and in my corner and other people's corner is like super important, because it allows you to track your finances in a way where you're setting yourself up and capitalizing on everything. Because if you don't have the knowledge to dive into it, the government is going to take advantage of everything.
Very, very much so. And then other people that you work with, believe it or not, will take advantage of that as well. At the time when I was at the process about to try to leave my business, right? It was a lot of things I had to consider because I was walking away from a lot, right? So a few things I had to, one, make sure that, all right, remember I told you I started my business as soon as I started my career at the same time. So after a while, when I was getting ready to make that decision, I had to think about like, yo, do I have the savings? Do I have enough money saved to cover my rent, to cover bills, to cover car note, insurance, to eat? Traveling, that was out the window at that time. Like I knew I wasn't traveling for a minute. So do I have the money to cover the necessities? So it was at a point where, everybody's savings goal is different, right? Some people say 6 months, some people say you should have your whole salary saved. It's all up to what you feel comfortable with to make that leap. And then the second thing I had to realize, once I hit the savings goals that I set for myself, the second thing I had to realize was, all right, is my business generating this amount of revenue, a certain amount of revenue? I didn't want to leave a job where I was making one set amount per year to make significantly less, if that was the case. So it was one of those things where you had to check the temperature consistently and monitor your progress year over year to see, okay, well, all right, well, my business is producing my salary now, then that's, yeah. But you want to know what's crazy though? At that time, let me tell you what's funny. And I never told this to nobody, bro. So I was doing all of that. I guess God was just aligning everything for me. So, had a savings goal. My business reached a certain amount where I was able to, in my business where I can able to leave. But it was due to time. I was working from home a lot, so I had the time and the flexibility. Time is really the biggest asset. It ain't really about the money. So a lot of people probably wondering like, okay, how did you do this? And you went into the office every day. I still went in the office every day, maintained the presence. 1 to 2 days working from home, but after the office, I went from work and locked in on my business. But to my point though, I had all those ducks in a row, and it was crazy. I was actually on a sales project on the way to get my PMP. I was working on a sales project. I was in finance, IT finance, but I was working on a sales project dealing with like the booking sales data, right? That goes hand in hand with revenue. Meanwhile, Cisco did a massive layoff, bro.
Wow.
Cisco did a massive layoff. I'm talking about it was some real, how the political madness go in corporate America. Somebody came over from one organization, brought their people with them, didn't see eye to eye with direct. It was a mess. So long story short, I was amongst like thousands of people that got laid off. Like even the people I won a project with, some of them got laid off. But it was just a blessing because, it just pushed me to go ahead and do my thing. I was already put my ducks in a row. It wasn't an ego thing for me to leave. So I wasn't just going to quit. I was wanting to make sure my ducks was in a row. So when I did decide to voluntarily leave, I was good. But it just so happened that layoff came, and I was like, well, all right, it's not, I've given all I could give. Let me just go do my thing because it was a sign. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, bro. That's a good point. Sometimes it's like we try to capitalize and we try to do what we can do, but when God tell us like when you get that sign, that feeling to like just go ahead and take that leap, that's when
Don't fight it.
you start
You
really.
got Yeah, you gotta do it, man. You gotta do it because a lot of people make ego moves and not business moves. You gotta put your ego to the side a little bit, you know? Like a lot of people that I know, complain about, oh, I don't like my job, this. Well, your worst day at work is better than your best day unemployed. So you do what you gotta do, build that foundation, and then you know the goal that you got in mind. Go ahead and just keep that in mind. But yeah, it's one of those things, bro. You gotta take that lead, man. And I took the lead. I think I've been doing all right.
For sure, for sure. But yeah, man, hey, that was perfect, man. I really appreciate that because it's good to understand there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that's trying to build and like figure out when to leave corporate or, how long to stay in corporate. So that's a really good story that can help a lot of people.
For sure, they'll know. You'll know. Like if you know, it'll hit you like, or something happened and be like, yeah, it's time to go. Just don't rush it though. Don't rush it though.
For sure.
Yeah. So my advice to someone graduating between 20 and 30, specifically with people just graduating, even, individuals our age, one, first and foremost, save your money. Now, this is not the time to really play around when it comes to that because we living in a time of uncertainty. It's uncertain times right now. Also, recognize all your income. A lot of people make money throughout the year and don't want to recognize all their income. They think they will get away with it by not reporting it. Well, little do they know that all of the documents that you receive, federal documents that you receive, the IRS has them as well. So, you want to make sure you're reporting everything. Two, you're going to track the amount of taxes. Track the amount of taxes you're taking out. You get taken out your income if you're working a career. Check the amount of tax so that there's no surprises, come tax time. And if you know you're going to owe taxes, actually save and budget for taxes as your weekly budget so that come tax time, you're not hit with a big tax bill and you're looking crazy like, what in the world, where does this come from? From an entrepreneurial standpoint, specifically speaking to people that's graduating out of college and within that 30 age range, you got to first realize what you want to do. First realize what you want to do from an idea standpoint, assess your market, and really stay down. It's going to take a lot of sacrifice. Probably not going to be able to buy as many clothes. Probably not going to be able to go to as many brunches, pop as many bottles in the club. You may have to, you might have to just fall back for a little bit, and that's okay. And I know it's kind of hard, especially if I can speak to my younger self. When I was 22, 23, don't pay that no mind. Don't pay that no mind because that's not sustainable. You got a goal, that's what you want to do. Stick to it. Your biggest investment is yourself. So don't be afraid to put some money down on yourself and be confident enough that you're gonna flip it back. So yeah, just stay down and don't be afraid to invest in something and don't compare yourself to other people. Even people 30 plus, everybody has the tendency to do this sometimes, especially living in a social media show me world. You may see somebody that appears to be doing better than you or at a certain level of success that you think you're not at. A lot of the time that's cap. Okay, so don't focus on that. Okay, like I work in an industry where it's a lot of people that come into my office. They look a certain way on social media when you see them, but on paper, it ain't really happening. It ain't really what you thinking. And we're just gonna leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? So versus then it's low key people that's pretty much chill low key about their business. They're not really into all of that hoopla what people see on social media and their ducks in order. So just don't compare yourself because it can really slow up your journey because you'll be so busy looking at somebody else drive and you might hit a pothole or crash into a wall or something. So that's pretty much all I got for that.
Exactly, bro. You just hit a lot of gems in that because one thing that when we think about like this, the comparison trap and like all these different things,
Right.
it's important to just like focus and trust on your journey because you never know what somebody else is going through. Like I think social media can be dangerous if you let it.
Oh my God.
It can
Very
be
dangerous.
Even, and that's the point. That's why, like like interviewing people like you, like people who are doing a lot of great things, especially Black entrepreneurs, because like these episodes, like JQ Lifestyle, like is
Mhm.
like just being authentic and sharing behind the scenes because you know, it's cool. Like where we from, like our environment, like it's good to share the, you know, inspiration to like motivate our people.
For
But
sure.
process, people don't see the process.
People just see the end result and the luxury and the fruits of the labor. Exactly. And so back to your point, you don't know what they had to go through to get it. And what you really don't know is what they got to go through to sustain it. Now that's the pivot. That's the plot twist, you know? So you may be looking at somebody that got all ABC going on, your up and coming entrepreneur, your business may not be there yet. You may not know that person that's showing this image of success probably hasn't filed taxes since they started their business. And that's a complete shit show. Excuse my language, but you know, it's like meanwhile, you taking the proper steps day over day, or you repeating the process, staying down, you may be making more progress than the actual person. Like everything's all over the place for them, but they focused on the image. You focusing on processes, tools, people, marketing, the right thing that's gonna take your business to the next level. And you got a good accountant on your team. You know, all this is about you. You doing everything right. And other people, myself, we doing everything right, you know, so that it's a marathon. So we can get to that point where we got $1 million business for real. You feel me?
Real, because it's like we have to have that sustainability because we're literally building from the ground and like from scratch. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, man. Hey, listen, this interview was great, bro. I appreciate all the insight and the gems. Definitely will share your business with others and things, especially for like a lot of like, you know, young black or the black community, because it's important to understand taxes. It's important to understand where your money is going. Like, how can you increase the withholdings to get more throughout your paycheck if you work in corporate, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
You're an entrepreneur, so like definitely will continue to refer people to you. So 2 years, man. Hey, appreciate the assistance, the guidance has been helping a lot. So
Man, I appreciate your support, man. It means a lot, bro. For real.
for sure.